Hello and welcome to today's Vinyasa practice. So if you have a block, you can grab it. If you don't have a block, it's totally fine. We can adjust accordingly. We're going to start in a child's pose here. So be able to rest your head on the floor of your block, depending on how your body feels, depending on whether you feel stiff or not. Take a big breath of air into your body. Release it gently through your mouth. Soften your jaw. Inhale again through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Get yourself a little more comfortable and take one more breath. All the way out. Just breathe into your nose, out your nose. Settle your mind, the busyness. Come to notice in your physical body the still point. If you're there. As you inhale, extend your hands out in front of you and bring your knees a little closer together. As you stretch your hands forward, you can inhale, pull forward onto your hands. And when you exhale, lower yourself halfway down. But when you inhale, push yourself just straight back up. And on your exhale, pull your hips back. And just continue with this motion. As you come forward, imagine that your chest pulls forward when you lower halfway down. And when you inhale, your chest pulls forward as you push up. And then exhale to come back. You can tuck your toes under if you want to. You can also do this in an actual full push-up position. But this is about warming up. So we want to warm up slowly. Mindfully, so that your movement and breath sync together, so that you don't bypass an area and so that you start to allow your whole body to work together. A rhythm that you tune into where you feel that your body breathes, and as your body breathes, there's an expression of your physical body as well. A transferring of shapes from one to the next. 2 more. Feel the shape of your spine as you lower down and as you push up. Come forward onto your hands, and when you exhale, lower down all the way to the floor onto your belly, and then take your hands out off your mat or off to the side, and just cup your hands so that the pads of your fingers are down. Elbows are lifted over the wrists, and start to creep one shoulder at a time forward. So it's sort of like rolling One shoulder at a time. Forward, creepy, creepy, crawling shoulder by shoulder. And it's sort of like really exaggerating the rolling forward of each shoulder. And you can turn your head as well, look from one side to the other. And then roll your shoulders in the opposite direction. Rolling the shoulders back one at a time. And just feeling into this joint, this ball and socket joint. Involving your head. Rolling. Now take both of your shoulders and roll them forward and down. And on your inhale, push the floor away and pull the shoulder heads back. As you do this, push into your finger pads, into your fingertips, and look forward. Come up to the height that's comfortable for your low back. So you don't want to feel that this is like pinching and hurting. Rather, it's just like really working into the flexion and the stability of your spine as you come up. And then maybe you can play with lifting fingers. So pinky fingers up, ring fingers, middle fingers, all the way up to so that you're just balancing on your thumbs, push up. And then put your index fingers down and push into the index fingers. Draw the shoulders back. Lift yourself up, look side to side, look up, and then lower yourself down, shoulders towards the floor. Creep your hands back under the shoulders and take your shoulder heads back, elbows in close to the torso. First to 3 cobras. So inhale, push away from the floor, but keep your elbows bent. And as you exhale, lower yourself down. Second time, inhale to draw the shoulder heads back and lift your heart. And then lower yourself down. Third, final one. Inhale to come up, elbows stay bent, the shoulders melt. And then push into your knees, draw your tailbone back, belly button to spine, child's pose, but with your toes tucked under. Inhale forward onto your hands. And as you exhale, pull the hips back, tuck your toes under, child's pose still. One more, come forward to your hands. And then on your exhale, hips pull back on a nice gentle lift of your pelvis up. Push into the feet, into the hands, downward dog. And now you can drop your head, move your legs. So pedal your heels up and down. Your knees bend and you shift your hips from side to side. And moving your hips from side to side. And just feeling the side body get a little involved here. Oops. Just playing with your downward dog. Feeling your body. Where it's at today. Oh dear. Okay. All right, so look forward and take many steps, coming to the top of your mat. Walk your feet forward, forward, forward. And when you arrive at the top of your mat, separate your feet hip distance, bend your knees generously, halfway lift with your chest. And as you exhale, forward, fold, fold. Now from here, you can hold the backs of your legs, you can drop your head. On your inhale, we'll find another lengthen of the spine. So pushing into the feet. Notice how you put weight on your feet. A slow folding forward, going possibly go deeper. Bend your knees, straighten your spine one more time. And on your exhale, fold, fold, fold. On your inhale, push into your heels, rise up, reach to the sky, look up. Exhale, your hands come through to your heart center for a Samasthiti. Okay, let's flow. Inhale, reach up to the sky, look up. And as you exhale, forward fold, lead with your heart. Coming down. Halfway lift, a lengthen of their spine, of your spine. And hands to the floor. Step your left foot back and drop your knee to the mat. Inhale, both your arms come up to the sky. And as you exhale, hands come to your heart, interlock your fingers and press your palms forward. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And another exhale to relax the shoulders. When you inhale, straighten your back leg. And as you exhale, reach up and over to the right. Inhale, get a little taller and reach up, center, pushing up to the sky. And then again, exhale over to the right. One more of those. Inhale, middle, centered point, shoulders over hips, reach. And exhale, reach up and over to the right. Inhale, reach forward with your hands, reaching past your right toes. Exhale, shoulders pull back. Next inhale, lift your left foot off the floor. And then take your hands to your right thigh or to your right knee. Bend your right knee a little bit. Extend your left foot back so that you're pressing through the left heel. And then bend your left knee and start to pulse your left foot up and down. So pulsing your left foot up and down so the knee is lifting and dropping. And keep your hips as level as can be. With your arms straight, push your hands away from your shoulders and push your hands into your thigh. Every time you exhale, navel pulls in towards your spine. 3, 2, 1. And then straighten the left leg. And press your heel to the floor behind you. This is warrior one as your arms reach up towards the sky. Press into the left heel. Take an inhale. Reach up, pull your arms back out of your peripheral vision. And on your exhalation, hands plant to the floor, just a downward dog. Here. Then come forward to plank, and on your exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, little cobra, shoulder heads roll back, lift your chest. And as you exhale, a child's pose, tuck your toes under. Breathe in. A downward facing dog. Left leg comes up towards the sky. Exhale, big giant step forward into a low lunge and drop your back right knee to the floor. Inhale, your arms reach up. Press into the front foot and your back foot, and then gather your hands to your heart and interlock your fingers. Press forward. Inhale, reach up to center, and exhale, reach over to the left. Lift up your back knee. Inhale to center, reach up, and exhale over to the left. To center, every time you inhale, get a little longer in your torso, and exhale over to the left. One more, inhale to center, reach up, straighten your back leg, and over to the left. Inhale, reach forward, and then exhale, lift your back foot. Hands come to the front of your left thigh now. And you activate your back right foot. Feel the crown of your head pull forward, and then bend your right knee, and just lift your right knee up and down. Keep your arms straight, and your hands pressing into your left knee or left thigh. And you're just lifting the knee up and down without moving your hips so much, isolating the action to the right hamstring. Feeling like the crown of your head wants to pull forward, so really feeling the length of your spine here and the stability of the left foot. Keep going, keep breathing. Going for 3, for 2, and 1. And then straighten out the back leg. Now bring your fingertips to the floor. Keep lifting the right foot up towards the mat. Press into the left foot. Lift the right side. And as you exhale, pull the feet together and just fold forward into your legs. Inhale to halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold and then reverse dive. Reach up to the sky. Look up, reach. Hands come to your heart for Samasthiti. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, dive forward, fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, shoulder, head back. And now step your right foot back. Keep your knee off the mat, and your left knee is bent, low lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Take a full breath in. And when you exhale, stretch your hands back behind you. Inhale, fly, lift off. The right foot lifts up high. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, drop the right heel. Inhale, warrior one. The arms come up towards the sky. Press into the right heel. Take a full breath in as you gaze up or back. Then on your exhale, your hands plant, downward dog. And forward to plank. Lower halfway or all the way to the ground. An upward facing dog or a cobra. And back into your downward facing dog. Drop your head. Shake your head. On your inhale, the right leg lifts up towards the sky. And on your exhale, big giant step, low lunge. Inhale, arms stretch up. Reach up. Exhale, arms sweep back. Inhale, fly, airplane. And on your exhale, fingertips come to the floor. Keep lifting the left foot up. Press into the right heel to lift your left. Exhale, folding, folding. Lift the left foot one more time. And on your exhale, feet come together, bending both of your knees. Sit down low into a chair. Fingertips brush the floor. And on your inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. Sit down into a chair. And lean back. Take an inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, dive forward and fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And exhale, step your left foot back now. Low lunge. Keep your back knee lifted. Inhale, arms come up towards the sky. Gather your hands to your heart, turn to the right and twist. Look to the right side. Hands move closer together. Get your hips down low. Take a full breath in. And when you exhale, warrior two. So turn to the left, plant the back heel, and reach your arms out. Bend into the right knee. Look at the instep of the right foot. As you inhale, reach your right hand up and back. Left hand comes around your back and maybe hooks around the front of the right hip, right thigh, and then just lift up and over. Reach beyond the back of your mat with the right hand. Take a full breath in, and when you exhale, right elbow comes to your knee, inside or on top of, and then left arm is going to unravel, lifting up and reaching long. If it's possible to take your right hand to the floor, do that. Take a full breath. Look down, lift the back heel, and continue to turn that back foot all the way over as you find a side plank. Side plank. Now, setting up for side plank, you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of movement of this left arm. If it feels really unstable, take your right foot halfway back and find stability. Stability is key so that you can build the strength of your upper body. And then once you're stable, you start to really work into using your whole upper body, including your core, to hold you here. You want to feel that you're pushing away from the mat and getting lighter in this whole side. As you press up, even starting to look up. You can change the right arm if you wish. Stay here for a full breath in and out. Lift your right knee up, and if you want, grab a hold of the right big toe, and again, step this right foot forward. Take that foot forward as many times as you wish. So low runner's lunge. Pull your heart forward, and then straighten the front leg and pull your hips back. Now we're going to keep adding on to this, okay? So on your inhale, bend your right knee, look forward. And then on your exhale, working to straighten this right leg, hold. And then we're going to change it from a passive stretch to something a little more active. So when you exhale, try and lift the right foot. And that might mean that you lift your heel or your toe only, but try to lift your right foot off the ground. And it might not happen. But you're trying. What do you have to use to try and lift your right leg off the ground as your hips pull back? One more time, exhale, lift whatever you can off the ground. Whatever you can, right foot, right heel. And then look forward, exhale, step both of your feet forward, bend your knees, sit down. Fingertips brush the floor, sitting into a chair, arms come up. Lean back into your heels. Give out your pinky fingers so they face each other. Keep your shoulders down your back. Take a full breath in, look forward, look up. And when you exhale, dive forward and fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, and step your right foot back now. It's a runner's lunge first. Separate your feet hip distance and width. And then inhale, arms come up. Gather your hands to your heart and turn to the left now. A twist. Straighten your back leg. Navel pulls into your spine every time you exhale, and then pressing your hands further together at your heart. Bring your left knee into your elbow twist. Straighten your back leg. Lower the hips, 3. Twist for 2. And then opening into warrior 2, so that right heel pivots in, and you rise up. Come down low into your hips. All right, so inhale, reverse your warrior, left arm reaches up. And the right hand comes around your back now, right around to come to the front of the left hip, if it's possible. Lift up and over through this whole left side. And press into your left foot, keeping your left knee bent. Full breath in to lift up. And when you exhale, bring your left elbow inside the knee, or rest it on the knee. Unravel the right arm. And reach your arm up towards the sky. You can reach your arm up and over your head. You can bring your left foot, the left fingers to the floor if you have the flexibility. Keep pressing into your right foot. Take a full breath in, and then look down and lift your right heel. Keep going over, and find side plank. And I find that if the right wrist is a little in front of the shoulder, it's totally fine. It takes some pressure off the wrist. That's an issue for you. And then just keep reaching up towards the sky here with the left hand. If you have an earthquake going on, please bring your left foot on the floor halfway forward. Push into your left foot to take some weight off your hand. Otherwise, get lighter, lifting the whole left side up towards the sky. Activate your left arm, whichever fashion works for you. Breathe, lift for 3. Maybe look up for 2. And then look down and left hand down. Pull your heart forward, plank. Stay here. Pull your heart forward, stay in plank. Activate your legs. And now we're just going to roll from side to side. So roll your feet to the left. Inhale, lift your right arm. Exhale, back to plank. Inhale to the other side. Lift the arm and back to plank. So move from side to side. Side to side. And as you do this, your knees might need to go on the ground. You might need to turn this into this variation. Moving side to side. Getting stronger shoulders. Breathing. Form over depth, always. Keep yourself stable and let your breath be your guide as it takes you from side to side. 3 more on each side. Keep very attached to that still point in your body. It's even more important when you feel like things get difficult physically. When you've finished your 3 times on each side, your choice to do chaturanga, child's pose, or downward dog. And we'll all meet in child's pose or downward dog. Drop your knees if you are in downward dog, and we'll just come back to sit at the back of your mat on your knees. Tuck your toes under, and then come up to rest your hands first on your thighs. Toes tucked under with your weight into your feet. Okay, take your hands to your heart. Now interlock your fingers and press your palms forward. Lift your hands up towards the sky. And then stretch your fingers up and over the right so that you stretch into your whole left side. Inhale, come back up and go over to the left. Inhale to center and over to the right. Back to the middle and up and over to the left. All right, so come back to center, reach up, gather your hands back to your heart, feel this length of your spine, and then curl forward, round forward. Take your fingers over to the right as your left arm extends up and over, nice arch. And now we just add a flowing movement side to side. And then you can add on, you can become a little bit more intentional with moving your spine. So where you lift your hips away from the heels, and you possibly just add in that like camel variation, moving from side to side. You can even bring your foot to the back of your heel, side to side. And you do this motion with what feels right for you, really. So if your spine doesn't want to go back, then don't. Just go with what works for you. And then just complete it as you reach up and over to the left with your right hand. Bring your hands in front of you in tabletop. And in tabletop, just slap your feet on the floor a few times. All right, so tabletop, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Extend your right heel back behind you. Then lift your right hip. And on your exhale, with both your arms straight, pull your right knee around to your right elbow. Inhale to kick your leg straight back. And then open, pull around to your right elbow. Inhale to kick it back. To your right elbow. 2 more like that. Keep your arms straight and really think about pulling the knee forward. 1 more time. Pull around, and you're going to step this right foot forward and bring your back foot to the long edge of your mat. Here, move your fingers over toward the left, lengthen your spine, and then move in and stretch this right side. Think of the right thigh staying parallel to the long edge of your mat as you extend your fingers out. Just stay for a breath in. As you breathe out, move your hands to the left side of your mat. Straighten your right leg and extend long through this right side. Right arm extends. And then look at the left hand. Exhale a downward facing dog. As you inhale, come forward to plank, facing the back of your mat, lower halfway, upward dog. And then a downward facing dog. Drop your knees to the floor, wrists under shoulders, and your left foot comes back. Lift the left heel, or left hip, sorry, and then exhale, knee comes around to your left elbow. Inhale to extend the foot, and then exhale, knee comes around, pull, arms stay straight, lengthen, pull back. And then knee comes around. 3 more. Listen to the rhythm of your breath. Last one, pull around and then stepping forward, back. Foot goes to that long edge. Work your fingers over to the right, lengthen your spine, and thinking of drawing your left hip back towards your right heel. Lengthen long. And then exhale in. 1 more for breath. Walk your hands over to the right. Right hand plants, left hand goes long, extend here. And then look down at the right hand, downward dog. Forward to plank and lower halfway. Upward facing dog and a downward facing dog. Take your left foot and step it forward. And then we're just gonna work through the same thing we did on the other side. So low plank, low lunge, chest forward, and then exhale, passive stretch, drop your head. Inhale to bend the knee, chest forward. And now we go into a little bit more activity. So try and lift your left foot as you straighten the leg. Inhale, chest forward, exhale. So really working to lift this left foot. If that means you're just pushing on one toe, you can't quite lift the leg, or maybe you're pressing into the heel. But there's a lot of action here to lift the foot. 1 more cycle, lift your gaze, and then exhale. Bend your left knee and exhale, right foot steps forward, 2 folds. And then inhale, rise up, reach your hands up towards the sky. And then hands come to your heart. Okay. So press into your right foot now. So right foot grounds and your left knee is going to lift up. Gather your hands in front of your heart.
and then level your hips. Now we're just going to work with like tick-tock a little bit. So the left foot, you're going to extend the leg forward, and then with a straight leg, it's going to go back behind you, and you're going to tip at your hips forward. And then inhale, you're going to come back up, bringing the foot forward as high as it'll go, and then exhale to go back. So what you can do with your hands as you do this is you can have your hands beside you, or you can keep your hands at heart center. You can also place your hands behind your back and interlock your fingers. Now when your hands are at your back, you can rest them on your hips to notice if your left hip lifts up considerably, especially when your leg goes back. You want to work to keep your hips fairly level. Adding on movement by taking it further, by taking it a little deeper, if that applies. Working to straighten your arms if your hands are behind your back. If your hands are at heart, you're pushing your hands together. One more, inhale, and then exhale to bring your foot back. So now bend your left knee, and with your right hand, reach around your foot. Left hand is going to come forward, and you start to kick your foot up and back. You're reaching your left hand forward and looking forward. Stay here, bend your right knee if you need to, stay for 3, breathe for 2, 1. Release the foot gently and step it all the way back so that your hands come to the instep of this right foot, and then turn your right toes out at a 45-degree angle and pull your heart forward. Then coming down, lower to your elbows, and this is where a block might be handy to put under your elbows. You can also stay on your hands. Your right toes can point out at a 45-degree angle, and you keep your right knee bent, and you breathe. Stay here for 3. Breathe for 2. And then push into the right foot, lift your hips, and turn your right toes so that they're more forward, fingers either side of this foot, and straighten the right leg. Try and lift your right foot up off the ground. On your inhale, bend the knee, pull your chest forward, and then again, exhale, and lift your foot. One more. Try and lift the foot, and then bend at the right knee, and let your hips lower down so that you're in pigeon. Now in pigeon, think about guiding your right hip back. Fingertips come light on the floor. And if this version doesn't work for you because of any knee issues that you have, you can do it on your back. You can be like this. Same, just easier for your knee. And if you're sitting upright, you can stay here as long as you wish in an upright position, which stretches more the front of the left hip. And then when you're ready to come down, I encourage you to do it without your fingers touching the floor. So reaching your fingers back and slowly coming down like a slow motion. Coming down, letting your chest hover first for a moment or 2 or 3. And then go ahead and place your elbows down and hands down. And see if you can just really dive in to some slow rhythmic breathing. Now in this rhythmic breath, I encourage you to connect your inhale to your exhale and exhale to inhale without a pause. Without a pause. my morning breath work. I do this rhythmic breathing after the square breath. I find it's really helpful for just really working deeper into the lungs and clearing out any stagnant air. There's a time to hold the breath and there's a time to move the breath. And as we hold the posture, we move the breath, we move the energy. 3 more cycles. Place your hands under your shoulders, tuck your back toes under. The right leg can extend, and if you want, rest the right leg on top of your left. If not, you can always have your knees on the ground as you lower halfway, chaturanga. An upward dog to straighten out the legs and pull the shoulders back. And then a downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and pull your right knee behind your left knee. Drop your knees to the floor and then guide your hips back towards your heels. It's like child's pose with your legs crossed. So another breath in. Note. Bring your chest forward. Tuck your toes under, an upward facing dog. And an exhale to downward facing dog. Take your right foot forward, big giant step. Gather your hands to your heart, lift your heart up. And then come up to standing tree. Left foot comes to your inner thigh or calf, or on the front of your leg if you prefer that variation of tree. And then as you press your hands in together, you bring your heart towards your thumb. Steady gaze, steady breath. And release your left foot to the floor. Inhale, your arms come up. And as you exhale, bend your knees and sweep your hands forward and down. Inhale to come back up. And we're just going to do this a few times. So inhale as quickly or as slowly as you want to go. But you just let yourself kind of like fall. It's a quick thrusted out breath. And your head releases at the bottom of that breath. Last one. Rise up. Hands come to your heart center. Close your eyes. Feel your feet grounded. Breath steady. And your body lighter. So standing up tall and transferring weight into the left foot. You can open your eyes if you wish. And that tick-tock where the right foot extends forward. And then it goes back, tipping forward at the hip. And then inhale to come up. And then from here, your hands stay together. And as you make this movement, at your hip, or you have your hands beside you, or you have your hands behind you. Feeling your hips stay as level as can be, so that when you tip forward, you think about lifting your left hip bone also, as you activate the right glute. The left leg is working also. Keeping composure in your upper body as you do this, so not rounding your spine. You keep your attention on your body as a whole, as opposed to the one area that's speaking loudly. Whether that's your hamstring, whether that's a cramp in your foot, or the outer left hip. Get your whole body to work together and avoid the right toes pointing out to the right. Keep your toes pointing down when the foot goes back. 2 more of these. If your hands are together in front of your heart, you're pushing them together and your heart moves into your hands. Keep your spine tall. And the foot goes back. Now stay here. Bend your right knee. Left hand is going to hold your foot. And your right hand reaches out in front of you. Transfer the attention over to the right foot, over to the right leg. Reach long, hold steady for 3. Breathe for 2. You want a gentle release that foot. Fingers come to the instep of the left foot. Your back knee is still off the ground, and your left toes move out at a 45-degree angle. Still a lot of exertion here for this left hip. It's working hard. Hands can come down, elbows can come down, and you maintain the position. The breath is always moving as you change the shape of your body, as you engage your back leg. Be here. Steady for 3. Breathe for 2. And then when your left knee comes down and your foot, your right or front foot, it comes over to the right hip. And this is where you find pigeon. Laying on your back if you did so on the other side. And if you're sitting upright, it's about getting a little bit lighter on your fingers. Transferring some of the pressure to your right foot, to the front of the right leg, and just guiding the shoulders back. And then see if you can think about drawing the left hip back and right hip forward. Just a tiny little adjustment here. Stay here and breathe. For 3. For 2. And then, on 1, fingertips reach back. Use the strength of your legs to lower down slowly, slow motion. Lower down, and then hover your chest. When you're ready, elbows come down and you rest. And then move your breath intentionally without pause. Without pause. The inhale and the exhale. Connect. Couple more cycles of breath here.
And let your exhale happen, and then bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your right toes under, left leg back, and then just rest the leg over top on the back of your right leg. You can lower down. You can always drop your knee to the floor. Push the floor away, an upward facing dog. And then as you exhale, downward dog. Left leg comes up, and then just bring the knee to the back of the right knee and drop your knees to the floor. Pull your hips back into a child's pose. Leaning your hips back and your belly down to your right thigh. Okay, a couple more intentional breaths here. Intentional in the way where you just release tension on the exhale. And then come forward onto your hands, taking both your knees side by side, and you can do this with your legs straight back into a head plank, and just transition right into an upward facing dog. And just the difference with your toes tucked under, I do love this because I find it's really deep back bend, but it doesn't work for everyone. So if you feel like you need to have your knees on the floor, then do that. Stay for 2 breaths. Here, thinking about pulling your pelvis away from the ground, as well as taking your shoulders back and pushing into the mat. And then on your exhalation, knees can drop first, hips lift next. Your head drops heavy. And then you can look forward, hop, step, jump, walk the feet forward. And come down to sit on your mat. All right, so press your heels out in front of you. Press into your heels, push down to the floor as you sit up tall. Take your fingertips so that they point back behind you, thumbs point out. And just lengthen your spine. It's really active. Think about lifting your feet off the ground. Just think about what you have to engage to lift your feet off the ground. And then on the exhalation, come forward, feet come around, or hands come around your feet and just round the spine. And then inhale coming up, drag your right heel into the hip, bend the right knee, hug the knee in close. And then lift your foot up and over top of the leg. Left arm is going to hold that foot in, and you're going to twist. Look around to the right. And we're just going to throw in a little arm balance here. So shift your hips over to the right long edge of your mat. Look over to the left, and you can feel free to just turn to the left. I'm just going to position myself so you can see me. So turning over to look to the left side. And the next step would be that you reach with your right hand towards your foot. So if your body doesn't allow that kind of connection, you can have your hand around your shin, looking off to the side. And that's great. You can just stay here. But the next step would be that you bend your elbow and you take the elbow so that it's not pushing out to the side, but rather pulling back towards the hip. And then if you're holding the foot, you press into your right foot and it becomes baby grasshopper. And you're balancing on this right foot, pulling your heart forward. And then come back down to sit. Looking forward toward the left foot, bring your bottom foot so that it's under your hip.
So this is happening as long as both hips stay on the floor. Not everyone's hips can do that. So you can always keep your left foot forward, and block or bolster under your knee is very helpful because you're gonna allow your chest to come forward and you're gonna reach towards the foot. And if your foot is not extended because you've got both of the heels in close to the hip, you're going to just round over top of your legs. And then coming back up, and you just swap out the legs. So other side, left leg over, right leg under. And same, if you have that bottom leg straight, you do that here too. The block underneath, reach for your foot. This feels really good too, even if you are quite flexible, you can give that one a go. Otherwise, settling into the side. All right, and then coming up. All right, so your so now it's your right leg that's out, and your left leg is over. Hug your left knee in with your right arm and just turn, twist towards the left. And then turn over, go into the other side. Reach around for your foot or your shin. And then press into your left foot. Baby grasshopper. And try to keep your chest pretty close to the floor, but straight spine. And then lower yourself so your hips come back down to the floor. Then take your feet out in front of you. Shift your hips back. And I encourage like more of a diamond shape between your legs. And then allow yourself to lower down. The other thing you can do too is you can slide your hands underneath of your legs. If your head easily drops onto your head, or sorry, onto your feet, you can do that. Otherwise, put a block there. Take just a couple more breaths here. Okay. And then come up. So if your hands are underneath of your legs, you're going to try and do this with your hands still there. And if they're not, you can grab a hold of your big toes with your fingers. So inch your hips a little bit forward. And then rock yourself back and try and bring your feet over top of your head. So it's like the same thing you were just doing, but on your back, like a supine position. And if you're holding your big toes, you can find happy baby. If everybody wants to do happy baby now, go for it. Straighten your spine. Big breaths. Another one in. Release your feet, Shavasana.
Shavasana.
Let breath happen. Let your body be completely still. A free flow of blood pulsing through your veins. No constriction here. Your airways are open. Your blood is oxygenated. And come back to that close connection to that still point in your body. It's available wherever you are. Where is the still point? And just settle in. How do you feel about your nervous system? Feels a bit jarred and you just don't feel fully relaxed. Exhale longer than you inhale. And inside out. Settle. Experience your skin letting go of tension. And maybe holding your face a certain way. And your body. Fingers. Smooth out residual tension. Take a few breaths here. Be very still. And present. Here. Feel free to stay longer in your Shavasana. Otherwise, you can start the movement of the body, bending the knees. Rolling onto your side. And then coming up to sit and ready. And as you take this moment to end your practice, your hands are a prayer in front of your heart. Clearing the highway from your heart up to your head. For a clear connection. Honoring the light and divinity within yourself. And namaste.